Hello, this is Chuck Solomon, and welcome to the Candidate Experience Podcast, where we focus on the job candidate journey from apply to onboard and the space in between. Let's get started. You care about the candidate experience, but have you ever wondered exactly how to bring your company to that next level and offer a world-class experience to your candidates? It's not easy. Fortunately, Candidate.fyi can help. Their solution guides candidates through your hiring journey, enhancing transparency and communication at every touch point. You'll also gain valuable insights on what's working and what's not with your hiring process. Best of all, it integrates directly with your ATS. Head on over to Candidate.fyi and see how to transform your company's candidate experience today. Welcome to the Gamifying Onboarding episode where Princess Newborn, Senior Director of People Operations at Where to Go, is my special guest. Princess shares some great insights on improving candidate experience and onboarding. We cover a number of important topics in this episode, including candidate feedback, interviewing, the importance of hiring managers, and more. Enjoy. Hey, Princess, how are you today?
I am having a great day and doing well. How about yourself?
I am well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining me what are we at here? We're on Thursday. Thursday. Thank you. Thursday. We're recording this on the 15th of June, and I'm glad you joined me. Where are you joining me from today? I didn't even ask where you live.
I'm joining from Atlanta in Georgia. It's a rainy, gloomy day today, but I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. I really appreciate it. Can you tell listeners a little bit about a little bio about yourself?
Oh, absolutely. As I said, my name is Princess Newborn. I am currently the Senior Director of People Operations at Where to Go. And I've been with the company about 4.5 years now. I joined early on when the company was about 3 or 4 months old. Prior to joining Where to Go and prior to my career in human resources, I originally started my career as an ESL teacher, an English as a second language teacher in South Korea. And wow. I did that for a few years, got to travel and see the world. And then when I transitioned back to the United States, I immediately jumped into a career in sales because I love people. And from sales, I transitioned into human resources, and I've been in it ever since. And I finally made my way to Where to Go about 4.5 years ago.
Awesome. What can you tell a little bit? I had to look it up, but for our listeners, what is Where to Go? What does the company do?
Absolutely. So Where to Go is a UPS company that offers on-demand warehousing and fulfillment solutions. Mm-hmm. Our company's shared purpose is to simplify the end-to-end supply chain across all commerce to enable companies of all sizes to compete and grow. And what that means is we enable businesses to establish a close proximity to their customers so they can offer that 1 to 2 day shipping. Our fulfillment solution combines 3 main buckets. So the first is physical infrastructure. We have a network of warehouses strategically located across the United States, and they're chosen based on their capabilities and proximity to target markets. So that's a benefit to a merchant. The second bucket is tech connectivity. Merchants normally already have current ERP systems or any sales order process systems they like to use, and those can integrate directly within our WMS. So it's a very seamless process. And the third is predictive analytics capabilities. We kind of work with our merchants to help them get accurate demand planning, which allows them to scale faster on demand. So overall, that was a lot to say. We empower merchants. We empower these merchants to get greater control of their business so they can focus on growth.
All right. So crazy out of left field question. Like you're part of UPS. Like, do you ever get to get a ride in one of those brown trucks?
I have not yet. That is an excellent question, but I do know In October, UPS supports the Pride movement, and they have a UPS truck decorated with different Pride colors.
Right.
And I want to see if they're going to let me on the truck this year.
I would ask. I would definitely ask, because if I work for your company, I'd be like, hey, can I? Well, I'd probably ask, hey, can I drive the truck? But I would love to take a ride. Like, I'd help too. Like I would help. Hey,
carry the packages. It's funny. Whenever I do see my UPS drivers coming over to deliver to my area, I always remind them, hey, I'm in the UPS family too.
So make sure you put my package underneath the porch. So that's funny. What got you started in the talent acquisition space?
Well, I really learned when I first moved back to the States to lean in on my strengths. I am a people person. I like engaging with people. I like meeting new people and having conversations. And so initially that led me to sales, because that's what sales is, being in front of the customer and having those conversations and engaging them. But while I was in sales, I got an opportunity to step into human resources, and I thought, this seems exciting. This is even more people engagement and you leaning in on my strengths. And so once I stepped in human resources, I started in the talent acquisition area, and I found that I got to be the first impression for a company. I got to be the person that reached out and offered these opportunities to help someone grow in their career and guide them through the process and help them along the way, and just be the face of a company almost. I get to be in part of the entire employee experience from the moment they learn about the company. And so once I learned my strengths, I was able to naturally follow that progression into a career in talent acquisition.
I love that. I ask that question of nearly all my guests, and I never get the same answer, which I think is just a credit to everyone's unique experience and stuff. But I love what you said about making first impressions because I think first impressions matter. So I totally agree with you on that. So, and you get to do that. You're the face of that. You're the first impression.
Yes.
Yeah. Great stuff there. So digging in a little bit about candidate experience, I'm wondering, is there a challenge that either you have currently or in your past places of employment related to some aspect of the candidate experience and what you did to solve that?
Absolutely. Well, Where to Go, the company, we aim to streamline the recruitment process and make sure that we integrate our commitment to diversity in that process. We are a globally inclusive company. All people are treated fairly. Everyone's recognized for their individuality. We believe in understanding and respecting those differences. However, we have to bring those diverse candidates into the pipeline. Yep. One challenge we found previously was a lot of our roles were being placed or posted in the traditional LinkedIn job boards, Glassdoor, the job boards where they're not really focused too much on diversity. And so now those are still great resources. We still post our jobs there. But it was a challenge to make sure that we were exposing our openings and positions to diverse talent pools as well, making that a priority and a focus for us. What we did, we started a DE&I committee, which the CEO and I co-chair together. And one subcommittee of that group focused on just engaging diverse talent.
Sure.
They do this by forming partnerships with other diverse organizations, associations, universities to build that connectivity and brand exposure. So when we do have openings and a candidate in, let's say, for example, in the Urban League network sees a job from Where to Go come through the pipeline, they're able to know, oh, I know that company. Let me click on this. Let me learn more about this opportunity. We make sure we get our positions directed to other diverse pools of talent. I have a challenge as well that we recently tackled, the onboarding process. So the candidate experience, some may think it ends when you get the job offer, but that's not true. That is true. You still haven't made the lasting impressions just yet. But we ask all of our candidates for feedback. Those that, just phone screen, interview, get the job, everyone gets a survey asking for their feedback on the process, and as well as the onboarding. And we learned that especially in a remote environment post 2020, it's harder for candidates to meet people in other areas of a company. So once
Sure.
you start, especially if you're starting remotely, you can immediately get exposure into your current team and your current manager, the people that you're normally going to be working with day to day. But it's harder and not as organic to meet people in other areas of a business remotely.
Right.
And especially when you're coming in and you want to feel like you're an inclusive, connected environment, you want to meet people. You want to form connections. You want to form, I mean, I'm a big advocate of the buddy system. You want to have a buddy. um, so we had this idea to let's make a gamified onboarding. Let's make a challenge. Let's make them go through levels and map. The gaming is the big thing these days. Let's make it fun to go through onboarding. So we did that, and we implemented a gamified onboarding process where employees have to go through different levels that represent each different area or department within our business. And while they're on those levels, they have assignments they have to complete. Two of the assignments I want to call out now. One of them, they have to reach out to a team that's not in their own department and ask to sit in on one of their team meetings. And secondly, they have to reach out to a director in another department and ask for a one-on-one meeting. And what we noticed, what this did, is it instantly expanded your network of new community for a new company within your first 30 days. When you go through each level and you meet with a team, and if you're starting in the supply chain department and in your first 30 days, you've met with the client support team, the service team, the technology team, the marketing team, you now have a pool of people that you feel connected to and can reach out to if you need assistance, versus that cold message, hi, I'm new, can you help me? You now, okay, I remember on that call you were talking about this. I actually would like to learn more about that. It really helped just continue the excellent impression that we put in that in that recruiting process, continue throughout onboarding.
I love it. And you're absolutely right. Onboarding creates lasting impressions.
Mm-hmm.
And the candidate experience doesn't stop at apply, interview, offer, accept. But yeah, that's great. Since you implemented, have you gotten any feedback from new hires on it?
I have actually, and I have one recent example where we had someone starting in our product and technology department. And a lot of times, especially within product and technology, you don't have a lot of day-to-day interactions with other departments. A lot of your work, a lot of your exposure is product and technology.
Right.
And her feedback on that process was she instantly, within the first week, I believe she had finished multiple levels, was able to get a better idea and understanding of the whole picture of what the company does.
Right.
Think about different roles or different positions someone may be interviewing for. They may only really research what that function does for a business. So getting to jump in and learn, okay, this is how this department supports this department, which supports this department, which connects all the pieces together. And that's how we run as a business. That exposure she commented on was amazing. And the first time she'd experienced that.
Yeah, I think that's great feedback, and it's definitely food for thought for others about doing that. I know for me personally, when I've started new places, I kind of, I didn't have a gamified process, but I kind of made it a game myself. Like I want to, when I'm on calls with people new, I try to meet them. I think the company I work for currently is really good about, like, especially if someone new to their team shows up to a regular meeting, they do a little intro. So people are like, here's Lisa. She's our new staff person. Like, this is what she's going to be working on for example. So I love that. I love how you gamified it, and then you're getting positive feedback on that. I think that's great.
I think another thing to call out there is it helps during the interview process of the recruiting experience. You hear a lot of talk. You hear a lot of, here's what our culture is. Here's what the environment is like. But having this onboarding, this gamified process, it allows you to see it instantly without having to wait, the course of 6 months before you really get time to integrate or interact with different departments. Within your first 30 days, you can see if did what they tell me in the interview process match what I'm seeing now.
Right. Yeah, I think that's great stuff. I know I talked to this is more of a talent consultant recently, and they talked about how like this is a really good time to ask for reviews on places like Indeed and Glassdoor, especially at the beginning of the beginning of their onboarding and stuff. Like generally it's a good time. It's also a good time to like catch things early, like if this isn't sort of the job they signed up for.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyways,
just like we're companies interviewing through the interview process, they're interviewing us too.
Yeah.
And so making sure that their first 30 days and even after that, making sure the say-do ratio of what we said this would be like and what we give them matches. And if it's not, then they have that ability too to say, well, I've seen all of these different departments. I've seen the culture, and this is for me or this is not for me.
Right. Yeah, good stuff there. So switching gears a little bit, hiring managers obviously are an important part of this whole, not just candidate experience, but also onboarding as well. Like, how do you get hiring managers bought into the importance of not only providing a positive candidate experience, but positive onboarding experience?
Yes. So I mentioned we have a shared purpose. But in addition to that shared purpose as a company, we also have these things called shared commitments and shared behaviors.
Right.
Our shared commitments, those are the daily reminder of the work that we must do to, let's say, build a great company and make a difference. Our shared behaviors, on the other hand, are the how we must act with each other, our clients, our partners. So we have this list. There's 5 and 5 of them. For hiring managers, I make sure they understand, are aware of, and uphold those shared commitments and behaviors. One of our shared commitments is to create experiences our customers and partners love. And so customers and partners, that's a candidate. That's
right.
Our customer. So to create those experiences, you have to rely on your own experience. Most people, including you, including me, we've all had experiences as being a candidate interviewing for a position.
Oh, yeah.
We've had some great ones. I'm sure I've had some amazing ones. I've also had some ones that I walked away like, okay. But we all have those experiences. So in order to uphold that commitment to create those experiences, I make sure that hiring managers tap into their own experiences and pull from what was great about the ones that you found were great and how can we bring that to where to go. And then our shared behavior of being the customer. It's be the customer or the partner. In this instance, be the candidate. If you were the candidate interviewing for this role with you, what do you want to know? What do you want to hear? What expectations do you want to be set? So I make sure that we review those shared commitments and behaviors frequently throughout the process. At the beginning of each process or any recruiting or open requisition, we have an intake meeting. And we sit down and we talk about, here's what we're looking for, here's this, and we review those. We also kind of review expectations. How long, what's appropriate for a follow-up message after a phone screen versus a Zoom call versus an on-site interview to make sure that the process flows in a positive manner where the candidate will walk away and say, that was a good process. Whether they come to work with us or not, what are they going to take away from meeting where to go? So by having hiring managers be involved in that intake meeting and kind of reviewing expectations and making sure we review those shared commitments and shared behaviors, they get buy-in to making sure there is a positive experience.
Great stuff there.
And then within supply chain itself, the community is very tight. So what one candidate may say and tell others can really impact what candidates we get in the future. So making sure that with every candidate that comes and that interacts with where to go, leaves with something that we would want them to tell others. And
gotcha.
I want to clarify, we don't get it right every time, but a big part of having a positive experience is making sure you learn from where you don't get it right.
Right.
Put your pride aside, you say, okay, this is good, but what could we have done better? And making sure you were open to having those difficult conversations.
Love it. Good stuff there. Is there, you've already said some great stuff here, I think, but is there, like one tip that you might have for others that's like no budget or low budget, something a company can do to improve their candidate experience?
Just one? Well,
yes.
Be willing to, okay, just one. This is hard, Chuck. I'd say make sure you have buy-in from the top. Make sure you have those conversations with your senior leadership and all the way up to the CEO to kind of make sure that they're bought into the process that you want to bring to your company. It costs no money to have conversations. Besides your salary, of course. But to be able to have everyone at the table, especially having that top-down senior leadership buy-in to, hey, here's the experience that I want to bring to this company. Here's how I think we can improve this. Here's how I think we can do this. Here's where I need your support to make this process work. And getting them to buy into that. So when you are rolling out these initiatives or having these conversations with hiring managers about things you want to change, you have support to help you get these initiatives across.
That's great. Great tip there. Sorry, I only offered you to give one because I think if we kept talking, you go on and have others. So, but perhaps we'll save it for a future episode.
Just be respectful and empathetic. Okay, that's it.
That's funny. So if listeners want to get a hold of you after this, how could they do so?
You can connect with me on LinkedIn. You can search my name, Princess Newborn. And trust me, there are not a lot of people with the name Princess Newborn, so I will come up. You can also go to the Where to Go corporate page and search me there.
Awesome. Princess, I appreciate your time and your insights today.
Thanks for listening to the Candidate Experience Podcast. You can reach out to us via our website, thecx.xyz. That's thecx.xyz.